Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
We outsourced. We were finally so rich that we're now outsourcing parts of our podcast.
Oh?
Yeah, we've outsourced what our banter topic should be.
Oh, right.
To Jane. No, no. We're out. That's not how outsourcing works.
We
It
need to
costs
pass
money.
an audit immediately.
And so what Jane suggested was, what do you think is like the scariest fantasy monster? And I want to add onto that, thinking about it, just coming off of the heels of a basilisk fight, what's sort of like the scariest consequence of a fantasy monster that isn't just death? Because like to me, the idea of getting petrified is kind of fucking terrifying. But there's a lot of horrible ways that monsters in fantasy worlds and games can sort of take you out of commission.
For me personally, or for my character?
Let's go for you. I want to know you as people. And then, yeah, sure. You know what? If Laku has a fear, which I know you've actually thought about a little bit, I want to hear what your character's fear is.
Laku's afraid of the conqueror worm.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
She's afraid of the bird flu.
Yep.
Oh.
The conqueror is it's a worm that she can't eat.
Yeah.
It's too big.
And maybe a cryptid? She doesn't know.
Yeah.
Everything's maybe a cryptid in this world.
Hey, you're not wrong.
I'm pretty sure red is a cryptid.
I think like the worst like way to die in D&D or Pathfinder,
sure,
or any of these tabletop games is like, how do I put this? Like your body changing because of something that happened.
Yeah.
Whether it's like you're possessed
okay,
and your body becomes like this abject horror thing. I think that shit is like the worst way to die because your character died, but its fucked upness is like still out there walking around. Not the fun kind of killing your friends where you're your normal self killing your friends. Like I'd like to do it.
Sure.
that classic thing we all think.
Right.
It was only Drosharis, okay? But yeah, but I think like the scariest monsters are the ones that have something to do with like your mind.
Yeah, I was thinking like going, mind flayers, just jellying
like mind
ahead.
flayers or just something that just completely takes over your brain. That shit scares me.
Okay. And what do you think Nikolai is most scared of in the fantasy world that he's aware of existing?
Scared of in the fantasy world that exists.
Yeah, that he's aware of existing. Because there's a lot of bestiaries that haven't been published yet. So it could be whole new things no one's thought of.
I don't even know.
All right, we'll do a second lap around for characters. Jared.
Consequence? I mean, paralysis would suck.
So like what fantasy creature would you be most nervous of then?
Well, I don't know. I have to think of it, but I think that the first thing when this topic came up came into my mind was that thing from Pan's Labyrinth.
With the hands in its eyes?
Yeah, that thing is creepy.
Sure.
That thing makes me want to throw up. I'm not going to lie.
Really great movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Oh, that scene though.
But when you said
it.
scariest monster, I was like, that's pretty scary. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to run into that. But yeah, I'll have to think about like Pathfinder specific.
Sure. All right. What do you got, Ryan?
I'm trying to think of what specific monster would do this, but
let's go.
something that's going to maybe kill all your friends and then drag you back to its lair. Like whatever is going to drag me back to its lair and like take its time with me.
Yeah, like keeps you alive.
Keeps you alive. Like that's
That could be a bear.
It could be a bear. It could be
Spiders?
a freaking family of chipmunks. It could be spiders that wrap you up. Like,
Shut up, please.
Yeah, that's like
Fucking
that.
hate spiders.
Yeah. Or like when we were up in the several episodes ago when you went up that chute and there were the spiders and that web lurker in there.
Yep.
No, they're going to because you're going to be tastier if you're still alive.
You know what is as I'm sitting here thinking is coming up for me? Cultists in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They
that's
always
pretty good.
freak me out.
Yeah,
because they're like
gonna
humanoids,
fucking keep you alive.
but they're there to like fuck shit up and fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's their point of being in the game.
That
Yeah.
spirit thing that makes you feel like you're drowning, that would be pretty terrifying.
Oh,
100%.
God.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't know
fear,
about that one.
what are they? The sack hills.
Yeah, Sakos.
Sakos.
It's a whole
just straight up torture.
And for what it's worth, like there is a section there is a couple books that talk about sack hills in more depth, and there's a content warning section before sack hills, both in the new book and in the older Grey Death, saying like, hey, the whole idea of these like fiends whose thing is to invoke and harvest certain types of intense fear, be careful on how you play these with players, because these are terrifying and can be like uncomfortable.
I'm not going to go creature, but this is just like a fantasy story, I guess.
Okay.
How I can't remember who gets punished this way in Greek mythology, but somebody he's like pinned to a rock for all eternity.
Oh,
and they were torn apart.
And like crows come by.
It's a buzzard. I believe.
Buzzards come by and eat his liver every day.
Was it Prometheus?
Yeah. It might be Prometheus.
It might be.
Who gave fire to the mortals.
Yeah, that's Prometheus.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that was him who did that. There's a couple people that pissed off Zeus by doing nice things for mortals.
But it's like you're kept alive, and you're just like every day you go through it.
Prometheus.
Yep.
And,
that's your guy.
And was it a combination of both? No, was it also Prometheus that did the whole like when Zeus demanded offerings from mortals, and one of the other gods was like, so here's the deal, just put the good shit on top and then put the rest of the offal beneath that.
Oh, right.
And Zeus was like, yeah, I want that back. And then he found out he was tricked, and Zeus was like, hey, fuck you. And then he messed up someone because he's Zeus. That may have been Hephaestus, though. That may have been when he chucked Hephaestus down and broke Hephaestus's legs.
What did Sisyphus do that made him?
Oh, he was a king.
I
think he was trying to be too close to the gods. Was that what Sisyphus did?
I don't know.
I don't remember
that story.
I believe Sisyphus was a king, I believe, like a ruler of men. And then he's the one who had to roll the boulder.
Betrayed. It's like everybody just pisses Zeus off.
He betrayed Zeus, right? In some
violating the law of hospitality.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
What is that though specifically?
Walder
I know what
Frey.
it is. Like, yeah,
it's very similar to that.
Yeah. He murdered travelers who came to his kingdom, violating the sacred law of hospitality.
Oh,
he was the king of Ephyra.
Oh, so he was a king.
Now known as Corinth.
Yep.
Oh.
Written in the book of Corinthians 1 and 2.
Cool. Lauren.
Yeah. I mean, following the same thread, I think it's just anything that's going to do torture or keep me alive. Like I was even thinking just like of a standard ooze and just like getting stuck in one of those where your skin is burnt, like you're just burning from the outside in, and you probably can't really scream because like it's an ooze.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you can't really see anything. You're just slowly dying. And so like getting stuck in something like that, or just like as any kind of creature that's going to like keep me alive and torture me.
Something that rends.
Yeah.
Rend. That'd be terrible.
Like torn in half.
Yeah. Just rip your arms off or something.
The skin flayer. What was the thing called that? I don't want to talk about it, but he was in GCP and he killed a character.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like he rips your whole
skin off or whatever.
He takes your whole flay. He like flays you and takes all your skin
character
off.
With Terminus S was
Jimmer.
Jimmer. Yeah. Shout out.
Terminus S is the name of a sword from Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun, which in one of our Patreon episodes I talked about as intentional misogyny as commentary.
Wait, I think it just means it is the end.
Yeah, this is the end or the end point. It in the Book of the New Sun, the main character Severin is a part of the guild of torturers and executioners, and some things happen, but it's an executioner's blade given to him by one of the grand masters of the guild when he's sent out traveling around the countryside being a traveling executioner.
So I also like the ooze, just being burned alive, like burned at the stake would I imagine be horrific,
pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, another GCP monster is the one that like caught. It was in the winter book, and it's like you get caught in a cage, and then you're like burned alive.
Oh,
yeah.
Burned alive.
I can't remember what that one was called.
It was a creature with a cage in its stomach.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
was
so
like
awful.
the big Wicker Man sort of.
Yes, that's what it was.
The bees.
I think Nikolai's. He's probably afraid of like pretty much anything that was at Candlemere Keep, like that old school like deity evil shit, or werewolves.
Wow.
He could be. He's had issues with wolves throughout his life.
Well, racist.
And werewolves, so he might be a little afraid of them.
Why are you speciesist?
Lucky cyst.
Because it came and killed our town and ran away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you think I got these scars?
And then
fucking wolves.
Then Nikolai's best friend is lying about the fact that he's a werewolf.
I fucking hate guard dogs.
You didn't. Well, I guess I did lie.
Nikolai doesn't know yet.
I accept
Jason
that.
does.
I was gonna say no one asked me directly, but you asked if I got healed. I'm sure, or cured. So
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure I
I
lied
probably
directly.
was like, "How did it go?" And you gave me some legal
Thumbs up.
answer of it went exactly as I wanted it to.
Listeners, write in about our plot holes about how the fact that it's been a year and Lucky goes away once a month
Mhm.
Yeah.
on the lunar month.
And Nikolai's like, "I wonder why that
I
happens."
wonder what
It's
he's
just
doing.
his monthly
you were busy
sabbatical.
getting married and stuff. It's
Yeah.
fine.
He's busy getting married that one weekend.
Yeah.
He
There's a lot of
he-
planning up today.
a monthly meeting,
Yeah, it's
you
a
know.
monthly meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two quick answers on the fear
Sure,
one.
I got one after you.
I think like sort of meta answer, if I'm a fantasy character, the thing like for me as a real person to think about the most scary way to be that fantasy character and die would be the gaming group breaks up and never plays again.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's terrible.
That's sad.
Which is both sad in a real life way, but also imagine what it'd be like to just stop existing, like with just gone, nothing. I don't know, odd. But creature doppelganger, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and a part of it is
No, keep going, and
I
I'll
was
add
thinking
on to it.
doppelganger on a submarine would be a good story.
Yeah.
But
Have you
like-
seen Fallen? 1997 or 98 with Denzel Washington?
No.
Well, let's watch that movie right now.
No.
Oh,
And then
man.
Alien.
Shut it off.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, Fallen is probably the most Delta Green movie out there. You have to watch that movie. Denzel Washington is so good. So good. That Denzel Washington meme when he's like touches his chest and then laughs,
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah.
from Fallen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Sure.
that's, I just, doppelganger, we'll just leave it at that.
Well, because part of what came to mind for me is I've been trying to make time and space for myself to watch more horror movies over the last couple of years. And there's been a what trend?
I'm really trying to make space in my life for more horror movies.
Okay. Jane hates horror movies so much that I can't watch them when she's
Yeah.
in the house. So like,
Right.
I
She can
have
watch Fallen. Deal with it. It's good. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Okay.
It's like me and tuna sandwiches in my house.
You're trying to make
Yeah.
more
It's
space
like
for
me and
tuna
curry in my
sandwiches.
house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because my
It
wife
was
can't
funny. He
stand
was eating
the smell
tuna,
of tuna.
the other day
Wow.
because she wasn't there. That's true.
Yeah.
I make salmon when my boyfriend's not home.
Ah.
He doesn't like the smell of
It's-
salmon.
Delicious.
It's so good. I love fish. I don't get to eat it that much.
So
It's
back
one of-
to your
Go ahead.
desperation for more horrific things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been
Hashtag suffering.
Well, I like horror movies. Horror movies to me are extremely fun.
Mhm.
For me, a part of consuming non-popcorn media is like having it evoke feelings. And horror movies are like, and I was talking this the other, like I think on mic potentially that I like horror movies because I think they're a conversation between a creator and an audience, and it's about balancing that. Anyway, all that to say, I've been watching some Cronenberg horror films, and like many people know David Cronenberg, who did like The Fly and a bunch of stuff, who's sort of known for body horror and sort of basically like the damnation of the physical form. But his kid makes horror movies too. Brandon Cronenberg. He's put
Nepotism.
they're fucking good.
I'm just
In
kidding.
Hollywood,
I
especially.
don't care about Hollywood.
the two that people may know is Possessor and Infinity Pool.
I've heard of Infinity Pool.
Probably because I talk about it moderately.
Maybe.
It's really good. I can't recommend anyone watched it. I watched it, and then for the next 3 days, I felt weird. But whereas like David Cronenberg is all about sort of like the loss of the physical form, a lot of his kid stuff is about like the loss of the moral, like emotional self. And Possessor is a fascinating film about someone who basically has the ability to take over other people's bodies and then use that to kill people in their life. And then the people who come back into their own body having found these things done as them. Anyway, the
Wow.
idea of like a doppelganger, the ability to like discover things that someone who is you has done, to live with the consequences of someone else being you is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, doppelganger, way up there.
Some good. There's a good cast in this Possessor movie,
Yeah, check out the cast for Infinity Pool.
and Jennifer Jason Leigh in a horror movie is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like another terrible thing that a creature could do
Yeah.
is like Sauron and the Ring, that it just completely distorts Gollum entirely,
Yeah.
you know?
And then
I think
keeps
that's
him
what
alive
I mean by
forever.
like being possessed and your body changes
Yeah,
just because of the evil shit that's inside of it.
right.
That's fuck that.
But like he
It's
can't
The long,
let go
the
of
slow
the ring
burn.
either. Like he always
Yeah.
has to have.
It's like the ultimate gaslighter. The
It's like
ring
me and fast food.
in,
Yeah.
in Gollum.
Yeah. Speaking of
What'd you
gaslighting,
say?
no.
I said it's like me and fast food. It's just that the evilness inside me starts changing my body, and I just
Yeah.
keep
True.
wanting it.
We were talking
we
about
did
Taco
talk
Bell.
about this.
I think the,
They
But
have
that is
these
a
new
good
Crunchwrap
transition.
sliders.
sure.
Where they're mini crunch wraps. So good.
But I think that probably is a good
So much
transition
good.
to us talking about an actual evil that was inside someone's body.
Wow. Oh man.
And now
How do we
someone
miss
else's
this?
How Arthur
form.
hooked up with that girl? Is that what we're going to talk about?
I'm still dissociating about it.
No, I mostly meant that I was talking about
the dinosaur monster.
the basilisk that just burst out.
Also, we didn't get to do the characters' fears.
Oh yeah, but we're so far in, we'll have to
Alright.
save that.
We'll save it for later.
So here you are in this sort of like hall, basically, and this inn. Imagine the whole room's sort of a mess now. Food everywhere, parts of the table has gouges out of them. But the whole room, in one form or another, has now probably stopped and all centered around one of these two twins, turned to stone, standing atop this table. Maybe the table's even like bowing a little, not like it's going to break in the next couple minutes, but it's a lot of stone weight. This person, all of
Fuck
her
you,
items.
man.
Calling her fat?
No, I'm saying stone is heavy, and tables aren't usually meant to hold giant stone statues.
I got stoned once and I felt really heavy.
I believe Laku requested to do a medicine check.
I did.
Yeah, who are you doing a medicine check on? Arthur?
Yup.
He's taken
That's
so much
it.
emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That guy's hilarious.
He's
No.
funny.
On the poor stone woman.
I want to aid her.
Okay.
I'm really hoping this is good. I'm going to cry.
And I think Arthur is like desperately trying to help.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay.
29.
On medicine?
To aid.
Okay, so it's a 29. Yeah, that's an aid plus 2.
I am trained.
Plus 2 would be a 34.
That's
On my
decent.
medicine.
That's a decent roll.
Sure.
It's a really decent
Pretty
roll.
decent. Pretty decent.
So, yeah. Not sure what to say here. She's turned to stone.
You
wow.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nikolai's like, she's
She has
stoned.
no vital signs.
Yeah, but look at me. I know that she's definitely stoned.
Arthur is attempting to he's like trying to lay on hands
Yeah.
on the statue to try and like heal her or something because
Sure.
he just can't like fathom that this has happened.
Yeah.
He even tries to use the charge in his healing gloves,
Okay.
healer's gloves.
Does anyone know anything more about basilisks? And by which I mean I have been rolling shit and not remembering anything about them. And so does anyone else have
Well,
the
Lucky,
ability?
do you want to make a check? Because you've been checking on
I'll make a
this
check as well.
creature. Do you want to check on basilisks? Now, this isn't a normal basilisk, but do you want to check on just basilisks?
Yeah. Just basically like, do I know how to undo the stone transformation? Because
Yeah.
I think I do. Me. But I don't know if Laku does.
What's your bonus?
Soft potion. Final
For
Fantasy.
nature?
Yeah, or arcana.
Arcana is better, so 14.
Okay. So you know that with basilisks, with normal basilisks, something's fucking up about this one.
Yeah.
With normal basilisks, you have a narrow window and you can get fresh basilisk blood. Basilisk must not have been dead for more than an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I actually need to make a roll there for you. You know that fresh basilisk blood, if someone is completely coated in it, who is petrified by a basilisk, it can unpetrify them.
Yeah.
But
So
it has to be fresh, and that you only know that about regular basilisks, whatever the fuck this is, because this you've got a better look at it. This is not a normal basilisk. Something is different about this.
I mean, I'm going to turn to Arthur and be like, I don't know for sure, but with normal basilisks, if we get blood covering her,
And he just
it
goes
might work.
immediately.
Let's go.
He goes to the body and he's just like smashing it with the sword. Like every bit of it, just to
So-
get as much blood out as possible.
You want to collect the blood, just to be clear.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. So now here's a fun thing that I thought I'd share. This is why, like, the fight ending when it did could have been a lot worse and it would have been very interesting.
Oh, no.
So now it says here that a normal basilisk, contained enough blood to coat 1d3 medium creatures.
Wow.
Oh,
And
fuck.
and I just rolled. There's enough blood in here for one creature. Which means if it had been one more turn and red had been petrified, you as a group would have been left having to choose.
Yeah, we choose her.
I mean, I guess
High five, bro. No.
He's a backup character.
I love
Yeah.
Red. That is true.
I
so
would have
funny.
chosen Red, and
I've known him long. I
You
don't
guys would
care.
have had to fight.
they would have known. I would have learned. I would have known that knowledge and just gone over to Red.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So now,
That's a good point.
So to help Arthur,
second.
I like stick a straw and siphon the blood out, and it's like
now, give me 1 second. So, Laku, you remember
Yeah.
this. How do you share this information? Like, because there's a whole bunch of people in here who are all sort of in a shocked silence.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. And
Yeah,
I
she
turned to Arthur
turned to
and I
Arthur and
told
said it.
him,
Okay.
hey, we need to get blood on her now.
And he's just like, let's split this motherfucker
Did you say
open.
basilisk blood? Otherwise, others would be like, cool, just get
dude, that's exactly what when she said it. I just see
Sorry.
Arthur's just like "Rah!" and just
Cutting
starts
his
rubbing
hand.
it all over.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
cutting
okay.
that motherfucker open and like coating her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just taking up handfuls and just rubbing it all over her
Can
skin.
you rub on that portion? I don't want to be.
And
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
at first, her sister, who like maybe probably didn't hear that happen, is a little bit of shock of just what are you doing? What is this? What I how?
We're trying. I'm trying.
I try to I stop for as Arthur is just panicked and doing this. I stop for a second. I say, "This isn't a normal basilisk, but if it is basilisk adjacent, then coating a petrified person in in the basilisk blood might unpetrify her." And so I
Okay.
figured it's not going to hurt anything to try.
And she's like using her like sort of like cloak to like take in the blood and like picking it up and just herself getting covered in anything.
Yeah.
Red could just pick it up and hold it over her and just like
wring it out.
Yeah.
Hell
Just drain
yeah.
it out.
Like a fish, like you cut off its head and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
let
and
it
just
hang.
just let it go.
Let it hang. Let it hang.
Yeah.
So you're working quickly. I mean, this basilisk, it was pretty fucked up. But there's just enough blood to fully coat her.
So then we're standing there and it's like,
Nothing happens.
is this going to do anything?
She turns into another bastard.
that would be awful.
And then it petrifies 3 of us.
No, she's fine for a day, and then something bursts out of
I
her
was
chest.
going to
my
say,
God.
maybe we should quarantine.
If I've learned anything, when monsters are busting out of people's chests, you fucking quarantine.
Quarantine. Yeah.
you do not break that protocol.
Exactly.
Yeah, this isn't COVID in North America. You hold the quarantine protocols.
Our birds' heads are falling off.
Can
All
you
right.
imagine if COVID would have been chest bursters and pets' heads falling
Oh
off?
my fuck.
We'd all be dead.
Yeah, we'd all be
we'd
dead.
over.
Like seriously, this is a sort of an additional plug. Read Connie Willis's Doomsday book. It's a great piece of fiction by one of the most decorated science fiction authors, period. And she
Stop.
happens to live in northern Colorado.
Stop delaying.
So,
And you want to know something funny?
what's that, Jason?
I've been forgetting to roll sonic damage when I hit you with my bow.
Oh, wow.
my
Can we go back and
God.
retcon all this before we do this roll?
So hold
Yeah,
on.
just see what happens.
Yeah.
The whole battle.
Yeah, he would have died long before he petrified her.
Yeah.
So the
Bro.
blood.
This is 2 of Trent's characters that you've killed.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I didn't do it.
So this.
So the sonic damage, can you imagine if we went back and did the math and it would have saved, it would have killed her. Like, I'm so sorry. It's so funny. I feel bad for Trent sometimes.
So the blood. There's enough on her where now it's starting to drip down and into the now like petrified folds
The
of clothing.
chorus stone.
No, as a matter of fact, it's almost like it's rolling off.
No.
Like it's not soaking in. You see
No.
it pooling on the table around.
So nothing's happening, is what you're telling me.
You're watching the blood like roll off the statue.
Yeah. He's just sobbing at this point.
And then Julia starts crying too. Like just joining you. Not in camaraderie, just in a very similar experience.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just literally her twin
It's
sister.
her twin sister, totally.
And it's at that moment you hear a crack. And you see just a piece of stone fall to the ground in front of you. And then another crack, 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 crack. And what you're seeing is it almost like caked mud starting to fall off of her. Mixing with the blood at the bottom, this like almost gray-brown sludge. And she sort of falls down to her knees and you can just hear her from right in front of you.
Oh, he's
From Adina.
yeah. I mean, he's like up and trying to heal her
I'm going to do a medicine check.
immediately.
Yeah, everyone is kind of rushing over, and you're still like, this is all, I mean, at this point, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Well, with the blood, maybe close to 5 to 6. But like just, less than 10 minutes ago, you were all having dinner.
Mm-hmm.
and there's still the inside-out body of a person on the floor,
right.
out
We're
of
not
which.
addressing
Yeah,
that.
let's go.
Did all of his gear turn inside out too?
No, but this was just a farmhand.
Timmel was
I
just
thought
a
this was
farmhand?
Timmel.
Yeah, Timmel was like a farmhand slash like assistant there.
We
He
can
wasn't
put a
hunter.
returning rune on a pitchfork.
Hell
Trident.
yes.
Yeah. Here's our trident from the Underdark.
Yeah.
But Laku, because at first she was sort of like on her knees staring at this statue, seeing the blood roll down. Like she's never saved someone from a basilisk before, but this is what she's read. She thinks this is going to work. And she's feeling really defeated. And then as she sees it chinking apart, there's that fear of like, oh my God, did I kill her?
Sure.
And then seeing her be okay, she just immediately starts, again, slightly too, like, very set apart from everyone else in the room. She's jumping up and down, like flying around the room. She's like, it worked! It worked!
I
I
just want to check
saved
this
her!
girl's vitals and make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
blood splattering off her feathers all around the room. She's just
What's your medicine bonus, Jason?
elated.
I would aid that one as well.
This is just to like assess.
Okay.
I'm
I
going to say
wanna
that
see if
from what
she's-
you shared with me, you are too distraught to involve
That
in,
makes sense.
in an assessment, maybe in a treatment, yeah, but like in a clinical assessment.
And I imagine you pumped all your laying hands and your
Yeah.
healer's gloves
I legit-
into the statue.
I legit did.
Before, so like you're probably, I imagine you're still trying to, but it's just gone.
The blood's dripping off of your fancy suit too.
So she's taken a little damage, actually very little, from like when she accidentally was getting petrified and sort of cut herself. But aside from that, she seems fine.
Okay. I would like to
Like
try
hit
to
points wise.
give her some hit points back by healing.
She's
her.
down like 11.
Actually, Arthur is going to use desperate prayer.
Okay.
He's going
Ooh.
to desperately pray to Ragathiel to return one focus point,
Okay.
and he's going to use that as a lay on hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see Dragathiel, you feel like a fiery anger and kind of juice through your veins. But it warms by the time it reaches your hands and you are like mending.
He's
And
like
her,
touching her face.
and her sister's there too. Like the three of you are almost sort of just in a pile, just covered
Aw.
in blood and tears.
And then he's kind of like leaves her with her sister, and he's going to try and calm Laku down to the ground. And he's going to kneel down and sort of take out the sword and put it in front of him and say, you have done a great thing for me today, and I will always serve you and be at your behest.
Thank you. Thank you. No, stand up. You needn't do anything look so formal. And she like gives him a hug and she's like, we did it. It's okay.
Yeah, there's still like tears just like streaming down his face, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think you're seeing some of the more like competent people. So like probably the
Like that archer.
the
Only-
dwarven crossbow sniper. And
What's his name? He's got to have a name.
you haven't asked, but maybe you'll find it out.
All
He's
right.
asking right now.
I do imagine from Adina's standpoint, that a dude she banged once
Yeah.
is suddenly super into her and caring about her. And maybe that's a little weird.
Life or death situations will do
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
like, come on, you
Trauma
know, like
bonding.
vacation relationships, you know, they burn hot and fast.
Right. The summer
Season
fling.
4 of White Lotus.
Yeah, it's right here. I just started finally watching White Lotus. I'm almost
It's
done with season
wonderful.
1.
That's really good.
I won't go down this. We'll save
Yeah.
that.
I'm
good.
going to peel off and let them kind of do the thing and realize that now that Arthur and Laku are best friends and we're not best friends anymore, I'm going to go inspect the
He's going to
I'm
go
gonna
kill
go with him.
Adina.
chest
Do
burst.
my next, do my next medical inspection on
You're
the
like, all right, so this
remains
corpse
of the
over here.
human.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to transition us to something new.
Oh.
Time to roll up new characters. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I can do that.
Dude,
How much time do I have?
Just tell me what to click. I've got plenty over here.
You
Oh,
all were
God.
infected by spores and will die in 24 hours.
Wow.
So you have to make new characters.
Let's talk
Oscar walks into a bar.
about research.
Oh.
Initially introduced in second edition's GM guide, updated in the remastered GM Core. Research is a mini-game or a sub-mechanic in Pathfinder.
Really?
You are entering into a research section of the adventure. We'll still play it out, but keep in mind that while you're going on adventures, while you're going through other things, we'll be using this in the background. You will want someone to track your research points. I'll explain a little bit more about the system in a second, and then you can all figure out how you want to do that. So let's talk about this. And you know what? Let me hit it again because I'm so stoked. In the research subsystem, PCs accumulate research points, or RP, and learn new information or gain other benefits upon reaching specific thresholds. This subsystem is great for granting PCs more in-depth pieces of information as they continue to explore an area at large. Here, time passes in rounds spanning anywhere from 10 minutes or so to a full day. For our current research plot, the research action will take an entire day to do.
Okay.
Each round, in this case each day, characters use the research exploration activity to gain research points. As time passes, the party earns more IP, and they gain knowledge and rewards, but they might face consequences or events. Some of these events might interrupt the round with different kinds of encounters, such as a social encounter with an intelligent book or a combat encounter with a guardian. So in this case, research is a concentration and an exploration activity. It says you comb through information to learn more about the topic at hand. Choose your research topic, section of a library or other division, depending upon the form of research, and attempt a skill check. The skill to use and the DC for the check depend upon the specific research task, and the research activity gains the type appropriate for that type of research, such as linguistics, pursuing books. If you succeed, you gain 1 RP. If you critically succeed, you gain 2. If you critically fail, you make a false discovery and lose an RP. At certain thresholds for the group, you gain new information. So,
Cool.
You have now begun your investigation into, let's just call it the bloom.
Ooh. I changed
that.
my Pursue lead to that.
Hate that.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm going to say that in this case, Lauren, the flower blooms, this is that as a lead.
Hell yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, if this thing comes back up and you were doing it, but like, you just had no fucking clue that, like, you could have, this was an option. This was even on the menu. So, this is near sort of the end of a day. What I'll say is, for the sake of mechanics, if you want to begin looking into this, you already have 2 research sites available. This is why it was kind of cool the way they structured this and set it up. You can't just do research. You have to have a site that is appropriately like a mine, basically, to gather research from. You start with 2 research sites. The Lodge, where Timmel met his fate, is an available research site. And then you can go back to the hunting grounds you were at now that you have more information and do these tasks to research and gain knowledge there. Honestly, the more I read this system, the more I thought, this is such a fucking cool way to take it out of just the straight, like, ask questions, roll a check in a room, but say, like, oh, like, because if you had to go back to the same fucking places you were and do, like, a direct hex, like, square by square exploration, less fun. But going back to a place where you've had a big fight, now that you know what you're looking for more,
Yeah.
that actually makes sense. Let's go back to the scene of some crimes and look for new clues.
This is cool because it's like what I wanted to do earlier when I was like, do I remember anything? Like, it's cool to be able to go back and be like, what did I miss?
So it's the Goose Nest Lodge
Yep.
and basically the whole of that hunting grounds.
Yep, those are your first 2 research sites.
All right.
You all want in? And here's another thing that I think is kind of cool.
Hell yes.
This is a really well-designed research. This is one of my first ones. And they talk about, like, the GM Core has some really cool stuff about how you should do different things to make sure it isn't just like rolling dice. So in this one, the idea that the research locations, like, you only have a couple. There's a limit to how much research you can gain at a location. So, like, even if you fully gain all of your RP, and it may take a couple days at each site, you still may not have gotten high enough RP, so you'll need to keep adventuring until a new thing happens that you might be able to go research at. And in some cases, maybe you'll need to do an encounter there before you can gather research there. It's very cool. And like we were talking about between episodes, it's part of what I like about Kingmakers. That, like, this is a very different tone and pace now.
Yeah.
And it also makes a little more sense. You're the fucking Baron. You're not just going to be like, okay, and then knock on every door, but you are like, hey, this is a problem. And what if it's elsewhere?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, remember all those reports that you were getting from Ekendayu of more odd monsters around Shatter Shield? Is this there? How long until little Kristoff turns into a bug and to an owlbear in town.
So, can I start researching the lodge?
So let's start with the lodge. I think for the sake of where we're at, and I kind of want some room to play things out a little more. Yeah, let's go ahead and just say that like you can start research right now. That will basically be tomorrow's full day of research. So Nikolai, boom, you're jumping into research. You're investigating.
I want to investigate specifically the body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever nature medicine helps.
Trent, I'm imagining you are at least not tonight participating between
Right.
emotional
I think I'm
stuff.
basically taking Adina to bed. To just be like, you need to probably rest for 24 hours, you know?
And I imagine you and Jolia are like almost sitting vigil with her.
Yeah.
At least overnight, kind of taking turns.
Because I don't know if she's going to fucking re-petrify or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or something comes out of her.
I'd want to be checking in on her, making sure that she's either A, not repetrifying, or B, there's no, I don't know, like we didn't notice anything about Timmel until he started screaming, so just doing anything she can, just taking vitals, like.
I heard Timmel ate a lot of the goose cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
This is goose cheese poisoning.
Fuck, we're all doomed.
Mm-hmm.
She's doomed.
True.
It's fine.
You got a belly full of it.
to reference a movie I love. Oh God, who had the fish? Thank you, Ryan.
What's that from?
Airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I speak jive.
Wow.
All right,
Yo,
so
Mama Jama.
let's kind of Jason, talk with me a little bit about the checks you're considering. Like, I don't want to just hand it to you what it should be, but I don't want to just make you shoot in the dark for what is a whole day's worth of work.
So I think that I want to focus. I guess it's either medicine or nature, based on how I'm about to explain it.
Yeah.
I am looking inside of this human, who I have probably seen like insides of people's before that I'm trying to heal or save. And we know.
Yeah, I
his
mean
mom
insides
died,
of
like,
kobolds, or
Yeah, just insides of humanoids, and like what
Yeah, you have seen a
about
lot of those,
this
haven't you?
is different. Like,
You feel like from what you're telling me, medicine's probably going to be
Medicine.
a better read because
Yeah.
you're looking at the body stuff. Now, this is not like a thing where this is a thing where multiple people can be making these checks, and it's in the same period, and that's going to be good. You all can be making the same checks if you want to put all your eggs in that basket. Much like social encounters, there's different DCs based on what check you're doing.
to give you an exact, like, this is what I'm doing. You remember the doc in The Thing, the first time they're looking through the body?
Yes.
And he's like, I think this is a liver. This might be a heart. Like, I don't know. This looks like more rib cages. I want to know how different it is from a regular
It's so
human.
hard for me to not just give you a patch because I love The Thing
fucking
so
love that
much.
movie.
It's very good.
But it is an exact good bit of like the sort of body horror shit
Yeah.
that you're talking about. Red, what are you getting up to?
So it's pretty limited when it comes to research, but
Yeah, like this is once again what I like is a mini game system. There's some checks here that you probably have and can work on.
the first thing that came to mind, it could be completely off, is the food, and he's got cooking lore. So maybe going over the food that
Totally
we ate
makes
and going
sense.
through the kitchen and seeing if there's anything contaminated or seems
Nikolai
odd.
did kill her.
We were told that the cook had gone to the island, right?
Yeah. Or that he's from the area.
Timmel was from the area.
Timmel, this guy specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy
Yeah.
who's
So
Okay,
I mean,
I'll
we
allow you
did-
to make cooking lore.
We did eat the Kruth,
Yeah, that's
Which
true. We did eat
is the only animal that didn't, or the only like big animal that didn't have like a dead creature near its lair.
right.
Right.
Which I thought was like, oh, cool. Then it was just like a big Kruth. And like, it wasn't related to why these other ones were so
Yeah,
monstrous. But maybe it was monstrous and it just that part of it hadn't happened yet.
Right.
But if you cook the Kruth, I heard above 140, it
Oh, yeah.
gets rid of all the monsters.
Totally gets.
Yeah.
It's all about it in the way it's prepared.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Jonas.
trust Orlean with my life. I know he cooked it above
Yeah,
140.
that's who I was thinking of. Didn't Orlean also go to the island?
No,
thing?
Timmel is the one who'd been out in that area.
Okay.
Orlean's just the chef. I don't think he would have come with us.
Yeah.
Jonas, what you up to?
Jonas is going to go check his tree by the stables where he planted it, but I want to look all around the stables and I want to look all around the lodge. I'm looking for the flowers. I'm looking for the watermelons, the vines to see if
Sure.
anything is growing nearby.
Is that feeling more nature or perception to you?
Probably perception and taking
sounds
my
good.
time because then that will be a plus 13.
Arthur, I'm going to keep you out of this one for right now.
Sure.
Just on character choice.
I
Laku.
think, if I can say, I think he's like, while he's, there watching her, I think he's trying to rack his mind for like every step of things that happened with us on the island. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that actually, here's what I'll allow you to do then. Interesting. So I think what I'd say is let's make that a perception.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to let you contribute, but it's just mentally. And I'm going to give you a little bit of I want you to take a -1 on that because it's all like you're not examining firsthand evidence essentially. You're doing it, but perception -1. All right, Lauren, you're playing an investigator, and we're doing a research investigation.
I can't believe my
into
luck.
monsters.
I had 2 questions. I don't remember the second one. I remember the first one is, am I still slowed?
It takes a couple hours, but it feels like it's slowly wearing off.
Okay, great. I was curious about that.
You have
The
a
second
really solid
one-
poop later.
So that was what's slowing me down. It was the
That was
cheese.
all the cheese. Yeah.
It was the cheese.
Speaking of things that will change you from the inside,
Goose cheese, man. Goose cheese.
so oily.
It's just, you can't, once you stop, one pop, you can't stop.
Wow.
Goose cheese, it's like dynamite. It just sweats.
Oh, yes. This is a side effect of the goose cheese.
If you eat so much, there's like a 1% chance that you just poof. Basilisk. But it's a risk we'll take knowingly.
Yep.
She's gonna be helping Nikolai with the sort of like medical examination of
Fuck yeah.
Timmel's body.
All right.
And one of the things, I don't know if it was just a difference in description or if there's something there, but it seemed like Timmel's, the like explosion of flesh that you described, where it was basically like one of those pop things that just pops out. I know the deer and the bear had like flowers growing out of them, but it didn't sound as destructive. Was that just description, or was something about Timmel different?
I mean, now that
explosion?
you're seeing Timmel's body down, it looks like. Let's make some checks, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
All right. So this is an area where, and I appreciate the way I'm going to choose to run this is all going to be above the table, outside the screen, because I think that this is much more like the meta narrative. Like all of you as players will kind of know where the investigation is at. This is not so in a scene that I'm going to want to play with like, oh, maybe you don't know you failed. Like you do because this is the bigger beats. This is that like montage-esque segment in the middle of 7 when they're doing the research in the library. So go ahead and roll your checks.
Will you play that song then? That song was so dope to that part.
And like this is what we have. This is not
That's
bad.
fine. This is the classical in Galarian.
Also, we should ask if they have any anti-plagues just hanging out here for everybody to drink.
Yeah, possibly. All right. So remember, perception -1.
That was 16.
All right. Yeah, you get nothing. Who wants to be tracking resource points? It's just a single total is all you'll ever have to keep track of. Okay.
The totaler.
All right, Jason, what'd you pick?
Fuck.
That's a great roll.
Oh, I'm gonna use a patch.
What did I pick? What do you mean?
What's that?
What do you mean? What did I pick?
What'd you get for your roll?
Oh, I haven't rolled yet. I got a
Oh, Jason's checking, looking at some
23.
numbers. Success, resource point.
Nice.
Boom.
Jared, what'd you pull off?
27.
I'm going to call that a success, resource point.
Great.
On cooking lore as you investigate
Hell
the
yeah.
food.
Research point.
Yeah, research point. Good call. No, that's just me misspeaking. That's not me being wrong.
When you said that you get 1 RP, I was like, that won't be confusing at all.
Yeah.
28 on the
Jesus.
perception, John.
Yeah, research point. So we're at 3 right
3.
now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
29.
Damn.
Oh, you were 1 off of critting.
Nice.
Of course.
4. So you feel like, here's what I'll say. You spend a whole day doing this, and you feel like there's still maybe a little more information to gain here.
Okay.
You feel like you're not done
From the
here
lodge?
yet. Yep.
Okay.
But only a little.
Um,
So to answer your question, though, Lauren, because I want to, you feel like this body is a little more mangled, but what you suspect is that that's actually a property of the mass of the other creatures.
Okay. Okay.
So that like the explosion for them was probably just as explosive, but there was enough more body to sort of take that opening. And like there was that much growth around them in both cases. The actual physical act is just that like, oh, I mean, a bear is pretty fucking big.
yeah.
So when you have the same amount of force, like the bear was also as ripped open from the inside, but the rest of its body
Yeah.
because the whole body wasn't turned inside out. Imagine like the chest cavity is what sort of like something popped out of, and that point of like change, that catalyst of like the movement of direction is where the basilisk came out of in Timmel.
Gotcha.
Is there any remaining basilisk monster left?
Yeah, I mean, there's like it's a little wrung out, but
Yeah,
yes.
that's what. Yeah, I'd like to inspect that next.
Okay, so that's one. Do you all spend the next day working here?
Okay.
Arthur, once he's confident enough that Adina's like okay,
It does seem that way. Yeah.
he is fucking enraged. The next morning,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna go and find that chick with the bodyguards, Andromeda,
Animede.
and he's like nearly like pinning her against the wall.
But
Like,
she's gone the next morning.
oh, motherfucker.
Ooh.
I'm tracking that bitch down, and we might have to cut off her head.
Why? She was weird, but
I'm convinced that she had something to do with it.
maybe we should question you all?
Yeah, let's question them all. Yeah.
If that's his real name.
Oh, you mean? Never mind.
Well played.
Oh, nice.
So I'm
Maybe.
keeping track of this. You spent 1 day here. So you've been gone from home now for a little over half a week.
Lucky's got it.
Yeah. Lucky v. Albert
Everything's
2.
fine.
It's going to be Back to the
Everything's
Future
fine.
2 when we get back.
Oh, God, that's a good reference.
You're goddamn right it is.
You know what?
Yeah.
So on the second day, did we look at the monster already, or can we do that on the second day?
You have a little. This is where, like, you don't
Okay.
need to be. I'm appreciating the role playing. It's making it better for
Yeah.
radio, but you can be like, I want to look more into. Like, you can kind of just make the same checks. The cap there is the RP maximum, the research point maximum, which you
Okay.
have not hit. I'm telling you that you feel very close. Like, there's not much more to get here.
Okay.
So it's up to you how you want to handle that. If you want to have everyone here, if you want to send other people out to the hunting grounds, but people might get jumped. So
Yeah, I don't want to split everybody up.
Yeah.
I want to rummage
So
through.
can I do you're saying I can do
fucking
another
room.
check, another medical check here?
100%.
Or can
yeah.
I switch it and do nature and see if I find something else out?
Sure. Yeah, mechanically, you'll know that they're just different DCs
Okay.
towards the same currency, but role playing wise, I'm here for it because once again, all of you listening, it's probably nice that you're like, so right, medicine check 2, medicine check 2, medicine check, another medicine check, medicine check, medicine check. And they're like, great. That episode fucking sucked.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, so now that he's done like this is how humans are put together, he starts looking at the monster and rolls a 23 in nature.
Okay.
To see if he can gain any more info.
This is day 2. What's everyone else doing on day 2?
I'm going to. I'm sorry if I just jumped in, but it's. I'm going to switch from perception to nature to examine anything that I may have found.
Cool. You staying on site.
On site.
Okay. Other folks. Okay. Fist
I'll-
bumping over there.
I'll jump in and say that again, yesterday was just sort of like looking at the body as a whole, learning some human anatomy from Nikolai.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Maybe you'll be able
Oh my
to do
God.
human medicine on humans now.
Maybe that's where the pancreas is. It's so weird.
Why are their bones so dense?
Yeah, right. These things are heavy. I bet maybe she's kind of now going more into like trying to find that stomach and see like and the intestines and see like was there anything weird, maybe examining around like nasal cavities and in the mouth of like any weird residues or like spores.
What did he eat?
things.
What's in his stomach?
Yeah, what caused this? Looking at his hands, his feet, like was he walking somewhere weird? Did he have
Sure.
dirt under his fingernails? You know.
Red clay
But a
mud
medicine-
only comes
it's a
from
medicine
one
check.
place of Valerian.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think Red wants to go to the island. Is it an island? It's an island, right?
The hunting grounds?
The hunting ground.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think like he has some survival, so maybe that's what he would use. But I think he's like has two feelings, which is one, like that family died.
Mhm.
He wants to like bury them and put them to rest just in the ground. And then in doing so, he wants to kind of like inspect, like clean up the area, right? Like the house is torn up, that sort of thing. And then just depending on how much time there is, he would kind of maybe go to the other sites and kind of do the same thing, not necessarily bury monster bodies, but clean up,
Trent,
quote unquote.
Based on what you told me, I'm going to do something kind of special.
Okay.
I'm going to let you do a perception check as a research, sort of investigating the area, looking for word of animate or anything else that might be connected.
Okay. I also figured I would like rummage through the room she was staying in.
Well, like I'm taking it bigger. I'm saying like this is a whole day. Like you're riding around, talking to people in the countryside nearby. Like you're spending the day researching in the whole, like imagine like the whole hex basically.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's go around and make those checks.
I rolled a 23 in nature.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say.
Oh boy.
Oh, what are you calling for? Is that a 20?
Do this 3 20s over here.
Jesus.
my
On this side,
Wow.
on this side of the table. Not so much over
This-
there, but
Okay,
over here.
so
I should get a
Jason,
patch for that.
for what?
Yeah.
For them being
3
better than me.
20s.
Yeah, I should get a patch too.
So
We
Jason,
got the trip 20s.
so I've got
Yep.
good news for you and kind of bad news for Ryan and Lauren.
Oh.
You got the last possible research point available here. So your great checks.
Oh, mine wasn't great. It's
Oh,
Trent's
so
was great.
No, Trent is in a special area. I'm letting
Oh,
his
okay.
overflow the capacity.
Natural
for
Can I
20.
join him in the thing?
You said
No,
you were
too late.
sticking around at the
Fine.
lodge. I tried to give you a heads up. Hey, you're close, but you did the right thing. Anyway, but a couple
You
of
told us that we were going to get jumped if we went by ourselves.
I wouldn't
This
put
is that
myself
Troy
into
move
this, so-
when they're in the plague house the first
they
time. He's
could.
like, "Are you guys going to go in there and rest like a bunch of pussies? You guys just keep running downstairs." We were tricked.
The plague house.
So you get a research point. You said you got a natural 20.
Nat 20,
And
yeah.
what skill were you using?
Survival.
Survival is an appropriate one. So 2 research points. So you're now at 7.
Okay.
Trent, what did you picked up a natural 20?
Natty Twonzo.
That's so I'm letting this count as the hunting grounds, like the hex for you. That's why I say a little special.
Okay.
Even though normally perception isn't one of the listed hunting ground skills, but because you are tracking this potential enemy lead. So that's 2 more. So now you were at 5, 6, 7,
9.
9,
9.
and you were at the
Womp
capped over
womp.
area. But now you're on day 2.
9.
However, you have crossed a
Nine, nine.
research threshold.
Yes.
So all of you kind of checking in at the end of the day have picked some stuff up. And a lot of this, I actually imagine it's from a combination of read in the countryside and like talking to some people in the area on your way to and from. And Arthur, some stuff you got from some people who just kind of have small single family like homesteads.
Like, oh yeah, we saw so and so passing through.
Well,
whatever.
kind of. Except what you hear is other accounts of things like this happening
Hmm.
to people.
Uh-oh.
The PCs confirm more individuals have been bursting into masses of colorful, strange vegetation and unleashing ill-tempered and powerful monsters. This was not an isolated event. The other things that you are picking up is that all of the monsters, while they've attacked and killed, remember how the hunting grounds, and this is something that you piece together, Red, and you sort of see this, especially once you bring back this information and talk with Arthur. A lot of the bodies of the humans that were taken like the wyvern, they weren't eaten. And all of your stories talk about these like maulings, these attacks, but nothing of consumption. All these attacks can be motivated by violence or pain, but not eating. And Arthur, you start to hear early rumors
I love a good rumor.
of a cult
Oh, I just said I don't like this.
potentially
true.
responsible for spreading some sort of affliction. Word is already starting to spread of a cult
Yeah, I'm gonna kill all of them.
starting to move. Okay. So you have now collected a total of 4 research points from the hunting grounds, but it is not at its max. You feel like there's still a lot more in the hunting grounds and in the surrounding regions around there. You feel like
Continue to
License,
add those 4 to the 9 that we have, or are we still at 9?
you're at 9 total.
9 total. Got
Because
it.
you have the total research, and then I'll track how many you've gotten
Thank you,
from
sir.
each place.
Is the stories that we hear of people exploding, is that in and around the hunting grounds specifically, or just in and around the lodge?
You're hearing that in this region of the Stolen Lands.
And has this been going on for a while, or
You're
is this
here-
new?
In the last week or so, you're now you're like
Okay.
out here talking to people, like in the last handful of days.
Nikolai sends a letter home to Lucky to start mask mandates in Shattership.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
So we got some shit going down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to the bar unless you got your
Uh,
ID card.
Tonight, before he goes to sleep, Arthur is like praying to Ragathiel, like, I'm going to get vengeance on every single member of this cult that's involved, and I need your fucking help.
Wow.
I'm gonna fuck all of them up.
Wow.
Ew.
Nikolai prays to Erastil that Arthur finds some peace.
Now we're actually going to jump over, and this was very prescient of you, Jared, because I'm going to need Lucky back home to make a roll for me.
Ooh.
Lovely.
Oh, damn. Is this
He's actually good at these sorts of things. So.
Well, except here's the
Yeah,
thing.
enforcing mandates.
Yes, absolutely.
He's going to be making this roll on behalf of Aestus.
Okay. All right.
stand by?
Yep. Jason, this is
Bringing up
that moment.
Aestus.
And it's here now.
Oh, this is scary. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get back, and Lucky's going to be like in a throne, like all old and disheveled looking. And Gregory is going to be like whispering in his ear.
And I'll be like, you've been gone for 20 years.
It's like it's the scene in Interstellar where he's like,
Yeah.
I waited years.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, what's your current control DC for the kingdom?
22.
Okay. All right, Lucky. No big deal here. I'm going to need...
I'm gonna throw up.
I
I
So
have
this
one.
is so I want Jared to roll, but
That's the
interestingly
sign of the
enough,
sickness.
so maybe we'll kind of zone this out a little bit. Who's the Magister?
We don't have one.
We don't have one staff.
Oh, so it's staff.
It's
Perfect. So
staff,
it's
yeah.
Lucky's staff.
Yep.
That's important. You just need to have it. I need you to roll an intrigue check for me.
Mm.
That's a good one for him to roll.
Yep.
It's very lucky.
I don't know.
What sort of bonus we got, Jason?
Minus
Bumps.
2.
Well, how is it -2 on intrigue?
I don't know. Oh, that's ability. Hold on.
We shouldn't be -2 on that either. None of our abilities are negative unless
I
you
don't know why it's
really
saying that.
fucked up.
Oh yeah, loyalty was
Okay.
-1 too.
It's
It
saying
shouldn't
that it's
be.
down.
You should have no penalty unless, like, did you have an outbreak going on right now?
Mm.
And we're vamping.
And we're vamping.
While James checks notes.
I don't know why it's got a minus
What
there.
was the word again?
Intrigue.
Oh, intrigue.
You know, there's been a lot of cultists
Because of unrest?
so far.
Yeah, there has been.
How high is your unrest right
1.
now?
So it would be a -1.
That shouldn't be that high. So I still don't have a -2. All right, I think I have what this should be. We'll listen to check it all. Okay, intrigue is based off of loyalty, which probably has a bonus in it. So here's what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna say that you've really loved it. Give us a plus.
So here's why it says that. Our loyalty
Loyalty says
is an
8.
8 and has a -1 modifier.
All the ability scores should start at. So yeah, we need to check into that because something isn't adding up
Okay.
there.
May after the owlbear attack.
Because you started. Your loyalty is at 14 is where it started.
Oh,
So then that
So
should
we're
be
definitely much higher.
+2.
Okay.
So, Jason, I'm wondering if you didn't start it at 10 before the bonuses. Like, so would loyalty be 18 then, perhaps, not 8?
It was put in here on its own. So I got it right.
Okay, cool.
We'll figure it out. So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna say,
+4.
okay. So yeah. So in that case, you're rocking +6 on this roll is what I'm saying right now.
We need
Nice.
a 22.
What's that?
Do we need a 22?
You need to get up there potentially. Yeah, there's some there's some patches around the table.
All right, here it comes.
thought you had a
Right on the
question.
table.
that's decent.
It's not enough, though.
It's not 22.
It's
Who's throwing a patch
18.
in?
I have a patch.
18 total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who's Jason's turning that patch in? Or was that the one I gave you for referencing the thing? Oh no, that was another joke.
Roll that one.
We don't even know what this check's for, really.
Oh,
Natural 20.
That's a natural 20.
That's another natural 20.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Jared's on fire today.
Yep.
We're gonna come back to
I
that.
told you. That's the kingdom's 20.
That's true. This
true,
kingdom die.
true.
This is red and Lucky's die. That's the kingdom die.
It's all,
All right.
shiny.
So
Beautiful.
let's go about out to the next day.
I knew Lucky could do it.
Oh, I know where I'm going.
What are you all doing? Day 3.
I am going to find the winter wolf.
I thought about that
Too,
one with you.
actually, me too.
Okay.
And I'm going to use diplomancy.
Diplomancy, the forbidden magic.
Okay.
What I want to recommend to you as we go out there, because this is also something I thought about, was asking him what the fuck. I think we should try to like get him to us by we don't go in, we call for him to come out. Like no, like we're in that clearing, and
It was
we
like
go back to that, and we like
he was the other side of the river or something.
yeah,
right?
we have to cross the river and then go to that clearing, and maybe
his name is Glazulin,
Yeah,
so we
Glazulin.
can call
We
him
can
by
call his
name
name.
and not
Yep.
whistle, which
That-
might be
'cause
derogatory.
I will leave you out there to eat.
Is it racist?
Dogcist. Yeah.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
Winter wolf.
Yeah, lucky. Hey,
I'm in.
is it racist for us to ask you?
I'm taking like, and I got like
Are you a good boy?
a white flag, and I wouldn't even want to go in force. Like I'm down to go by myself or just with the Baron.
oh,
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is going to
Arthur's
be
down to go.
well. So keep in mind, we're in research. You want to take it a little bit of a higher level. So you're advocating for diplomacy, which I'm going to tell you
Yep.
probably isn't one of the normal skills on here. So it might be a higher DC, but you've got a good bonus for that.
Sure.
So you're going to be doing that. What other types of research will people be doing in that area? So think about it more like that, like at a high level.
Sure.
I think nature.
Okay.
I'll like talk to it.
I mean,
Try to appeal it. It's nature.
yeah, survival again, maybe.
Yep, survival
I
is
was-
totally good.
Well, I was gonna say, would Red want to come with Laku and go back to maybe like the deer carcass and the bear carcass
Yeah, I was
and
thinking
relook at those?
Even the giant Hydra area, it seemed like there were a lot of weird there's a lot of weird vegetation over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
So
All right.
just go in there.
Yeah,
and
we can go together.
Nature, survival, diplomacy.
Can I use religion to see if there's like an energy of holy or unholy in these areas?
Yeah, you can do that. You can try to research that. I'm gonna say that it's actually no, because like it's you found the cult site before, you think, like there was so little there that there just isn't a whole lot more with that.
Okay.
Not at this juncture.
I want to intimidate the trees.
I would think intimidate the wolf.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I am
Like
totally
diplomacy is
down.
great, but I
So,
almost
oh my
wonder.
god,
if-
are we
Good cop, bad
fucking
cop.
sending
Good cop, bad
Arthur
cop.
and Jonas to do another investigation?
Good cop, bad
No, I'm
cop.
going.
Okay,
Send
you two
Arthur
will.
and his new best friend. Locke.
Lockie, what check are you making to research in the area?
I was thinking either like a nature or survival. If we do come across bodies, then medicine again. But
Nature is going to be better than survival for you. Hunting lore is probably going to be the most accurate to look at like the behaviors of animals in the region. Nature will get to the wildlife, but hunting lore is probably your
what about
strongest.
farming
Okay.
lore for the plants?
Not so much here. That's
All right,
not
all right.
specific to
So
enough
then
to
I'll
that.
do nature.
I
do
appreciate that argument, though.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
strong one. There's other areas where that might be the case.
Okay.
All right, so let's go around. This is day 3. Okay.
Oh, wait a second. I think I should be
Start
getting like
rolling.
a +1 to this.
Yeah, this is your lead.
Oh yeah.
Who was it? The wolf. Me
Those
and you.
those two. You're doing just general region for hunting lore, right? Or nature?
No, I want to go to the wolf
Okay, so that'll
because I was
be
the one that like brokered the deal.
sure. I will. Well, I said, yeah.
Look at that.
God damn it!
I don't care. I can
Another?
stay.
Another
Another?
natural
No,
20.
you can do it. I was
Let's
going. God
fucking
damn it!
go.
I'm trying
Whatever.
to-
I love it.
No, so if you want to include the wolf, like, you have to keep in mind, Jason, this is an entire day, so you could have involved the wolf and a
But
bunch
yeah,
of
it has a
other
patch.
stuff.
It's all good. I'll
I got
whatever.
one.
I'm intimidated
I-
the
I
shit
rolled
out of
a
this wolf.
natural 1, so
Yeah, reroll.
okay.
I'm trying to go and be cool.
I'm out though. I'm out.
Okay.
Patches.
All right, that's way better.
Hey,
So let's go around the table.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So let's talk scores.
30.
Jesus on
Yeah.
on what did you
Nature.
roll? Nature? Okay. So not a crit for that, but so you're now at 10 research points.
22 survival.
Not nothing. So you're staying at 10.
27 Diplo.
That is 1, so you're at 11.
Natural 20 on intimidation for
Which is-
35.
Which is bullshit. So that's going to be 2. That's a crit success.
Hell yeah.
So where does that put you at? 13?
And then 28 for nature.
Okay. You get 1. You feel like there's maybe a little more you could learn here, but not very much. However, you do cross another research threshold.
Nice.
How many points do we have total now?
You're at
14.
14 now.
14.
So you feel like maybe you're 1 away from full use. So here's where you're at 10. At the end of the day, you're all piecing together what you learn. It seems like this curse, and it doesn't need to be a curse, is some sort of conjuration magic. It doesn't look like, what you're piecing together isn't that these victims transform into the monsters. It's as if their bodies become some sort of living portal. Think The Expanse almost.
God. Oh, wow.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about with that.
Oof.
And it's as if it does seem like any type of living creature, because you've seen multiple different species now, could all be host to the curse. You still aren't sure, though, what the vector is for how it's spread. However, as you're talking to people, maybe some of this is Glasgowland, maybe parts of this is other folks in the area. More rumors now. This is, 3 days in. You're looking. Already, the rumors are starting to spread. Now you're hearing it almost everywhere you talk to. People are saying that some cult is responsible for this. When you're hearing, maybe Glasgowland let you know that.
What he hears.
Because he got scared.
The cults. My wolves tell me that it comes from somewhere in the wilderness. That there's something trying to return the stolen lands to the rule of monsters and beasts out of human hands.
Well, that seems problematic.
Yeah, how dare the natural things reclaim their lands?
Yeah.
He said it was cult, though, so it's got to be people.
Possibly.
Can you point us? Like, is there a direction? Like,
that's
that
all.
way.
And that's all the rumors are just coming together. That
Is it a cult of druids?
All right. So
You didn't answer.
I didn't answer because they don't know. So last one. We're getting close to the end here on our time. What do you all want to do? Any more investigations?
Nah, we're good. No.
You feel like there's probably a little more research, a little more value you could get out of the hunting grounds.
I think on my way back out of the woods, using perception to just see if I can spot, just like looking for a trail. Like, does it lead anywhere? We watched this animal show, and this freaking these mice in the middle of nowhere, these fields, like place little leaves and feathers and stuff, so it can like track its way back.
Oh.
Like, do we find those flowers and the melons and the vines or whatever? Is it leading in a direction that may look like it points somewhere? Or does this kind of seem erratic and scattered?
You're getting a little too granular in what you're finding. This is much more like kind of collation at the end of the day. And so what you're hearing is just rumors on the cult. So it's not so much a direction or things like that. You're picking up those pieces. You guys want to go for day 4?
Yeah.
Give me another round of checks.
A little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I use athletics to climb the cliffs to where the wyvern was?
No.
Okay.
You just walk up there. Yeah, what I'll say is for this very last bit, because you feel like this is sort of the last drag of research here,
Right.
I'm going to say it's just hunting lore, nature, or survival for this final check, if anyone wants to make it on this last day.
I rolled an 11 on hunting lore.
Total? Not great.
No.
I can do a survival check.
Okay. Nature is also an option.
20
survival.
on nature.
Okay.
23 nature.
It's-
29 nature. I mean survival.
Okay, so
Oh,
red.
sorry. Mine was survival, too.
Oh, so then it's Laku. Laku who finds the final research point. You've exhausted these 2 research venues at a total of 15 points, Ryan. But I'm gonna leave us with 2 things. You've crossed one more research threshold on the 4th day, doing everything you can to look into this. You feel like you finally found a little bit more. So maybe Laku and Nikolai were looking into the bodies a little closer. Because it looks like those who suffer the curse show no symptoms until near the end. So maybe this is more of like talking to people. It's at that point that it seems like crippling pain ripples throughout their entire body. The type of creature that emerges from the victim's body doesn't seem to be consistent. Because already you're starting to get like, you're collecting rumors, you're putting word out. Like, what have you heard? And you're hearing different creatures coming out each time. There's no rhyme or reason. You do think it may be possible to save someone from the curse if the affliction can be detected before it runs its full course. But it's going to be difficult. Like so far the widespread nature, because right now you're starting to hear reports of this all the way up to the southern edge of Brevoy. You're hearing this all the way out to the Selin River, like as you're getting word and asking around. However, You also do hear that a wide range of people are supposedly now flocking to this cult. But most of the rumors seem to suggest that the original cultists
Gorgori.
goblins.
Those bastards.
Lucky, what kind of messenger would you send if you had to get something somewhere as quickly as possible? Who or what would you send?
Trying to think.
Arthur.
Resource wise. Could he send some sort of magical message with what's your girlfriend's name?
Holman.
Nope.
My girlfriend's name?
Jonas's
Alma
girlfriend.
Barnabas
Elga.
could do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Elga.
Yeah.
Or Elga.
Messages without like having a solid contact already is pretty hard.
Okay, then he'd probably send I can die you.
Okay. So it's on this at the end of the 4th day. Where have you guys been kind of based out of? Have you been setting up camp? Have you been going back to the lodge?
I think we've been just on that island, right?
Mhm.
So probably you set
Yeah.
Or
up
in the
camp.
hunting grounds.
So it's probably on this 4th night when you're sort of wrapping up. Nikolai and Laku were talking about this like curse and the affliction. When you hear a like and
Wait, can I change it?
yeah,
Could he send Ari?
I think you do see Ari kind of riding up.
Yeah.
And it's Ari
She's
and
She's riding a horse backwards.
Her horse is drunk.
The horse is just wavering on the
No, that's
path.
the horse's name. It's drunk.
Oh.
God damn it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
sweet.
horse is drunk.
And it's Ari riding up on a horse and on a sort of like a bird, almost like an ostrich. Next to it is Meekmek.
Amazing.
And they've rode up here carrying a message from Lucky of the utmost importance. Word has reached his ears through his network. There is some disturbance, some group up at your second settlement, at Olag's, and word of a cult's activities have begun to spread. Rumors are that they've settled themselves in near the town's water supply. And he wanted you to know as soon as he found out. Because he found out 2 days earlier. Tune in next week to find out more.
Man, he must have got word like right after we left.
I'm so mad.
Man.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Want to support us? Check us out at patreon.com/live to die pod. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more.